Sorry. Oh my God, it's too big. Oh, please. That's it.
Colors will match करता है साड़ी के colors.
Now remove it. It's too big. Thank you. Oh my God, it is too huge. Probably this is too much. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. That's good. Hare Krishna. So welcome you all for the Bhagavatam class, Bhagavatam session. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapat Kamlam Shri Gurana Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sakshitam Sahagan Raghunathavitam Tam Sanjeevam Sadvaitam Sarabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanatamascha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastutai Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Bhaksha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Which sloka is 7? It's written here somewhere? 8, okay. Sagodohana matram hi Greheshu grahamedinam Avekshte mahabhagas Tirati kurvam stad ashranam Sagodohana matram hi Greheshu grahamedinam Avekshta mahabhagas Tirati kurvam stad ashramam Sagodohana matram hi Greheshu grahamedinam Avekshta mahabhagas Tirati kurma satadashramam Yes, Prabhuji. Mataji, please, please. Mataji's. Word meanings and translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So repeat the word meanings after me. Saha, he. Shukadeva Goswami. Godohana matram. Only for the time of milking the cow. He certainly. Griheshu, in the house. Grahamedina, of the householders. Avekshate, waits. Mahabhaga, the most fortunate. Tirathi, pilgrimage. Kurvan, transforming. Tat ashramam, the residence. Please repeat the translation after me. He, Shukadeva Goswami, was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked. And he did this just to sanctify the residence. So this chapter and this canto is the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam contains, is it okay or we want to make it a bit louder?
Here we can hear you.
Okay. Out there, everybody can hear me? Actually, this must be echoing because of the double height. Oh. So this canto is the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is a difference between Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita it contains the Naam, the name, the Roop, that is his appearance, the form. So Naam, Roop, Gun, qualities, and Leela, that is the Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita contains I'm talking of Krishna. So Krishna's Naam, Roop, Gun, Leela, his name, form, qualities, and his pastimes. They are in the Bhagavatam. But Bhagavad Gita has 3 first ones and no pastimes in it. It has his Naam, Roop, Gun, his name, form, and his qualities, but not the pastimes. So Bhagavatam has got pastimes. It has got 18,000 verses. Bhagavad Gita has got nearly 700, this has got 18,000 verses. And this has got the pastimes of the Supreme Lord and the pastimes of the devotees of the Lord. And this chapter itself, because as it is the beginning, that why we should study Bhagavatam, why Bhagavatam was written, why Vyasadeva ji was so eager, and how did Bhagavatam came up? How did it come up? So that is how is being explained in this canto. This canto is actually the primary canto, where we can understand what is going to happen in future in the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the most auspicious Granth. It is the literary incarnation of Krishna. Krishna himself has come into this Grantha. He is there residing in this Granth. Along with his devotees, dear devotees, Mahajanas, all are there in this Granth. Everybody is there in this scripture. So in these 18,000 verses, you will find everything you want to know about the spiritual world. How it is formed, how the material world is formed, even that. How the beings come into existence. Every chapter has, every canto has a detailed explanation. So in the first canto, we have reached to the chapter 4, where it says the appearance of Sri Narada. So how did Narada Muni appear? Whose guru is Narada Muni? Narada Muni is the guru of Vyasadevji. Vyasadevji is not happy what he is written in all the Puranas, Upanishads, it's all been written by him. He was not happy, he's not satisfied what he has written. And now he's very much in distress, he's disturbed. And who appears when we are disturbed, when we are in distress, and yet we are very sincere? The first qualification is Vyasadevji is very sincere. He's totally dedicated to the Supreme Lord. But he is not satisfied with all what he has written. He is not satisfied with that. So, in this distress, moment of distress, who appears before him is his spiritual master. The Guru, Narada Muni, appears. So this chapter is actually all about why Narada came. And in the Bhagavatam, we hear the conversations. When you will proceed in the Bhagavatam further, you will find there are many sets of people conversing. Like yesterday I was giving the class in the temple. So it was again the conversation where Shivji is speaking to Krishna. It begins with where you have, everybody knows Bhagavatam is where Parikshit Maharaj is listening from Shukadeva Goswami, his spiritual master. We know that, basic is that. But then you have so many people talking to, and actually the conversations are very much enlightening for us. They disclose so many, it is mysteries before us, the confidential talk between, like the yesterday shloka, it was the Shivji talking with Krishna and Krishna agreeing to what Shivji is asking. So this is very amazing. The Bhagavatam includes that as well. And we know here what is going on. It's Shaunak Rishi asking. And who is Shaunak Rishi? He is actually in Naimisharayana. There is Suta Goswami talking, where he heard everything from Shukadeva Goswami. He is now narrating it to 60,000 sages headed by Shaunak Rishi. So this is how it is going. Suta Goswami heard from Shukadeva Goswami. Now he is repeating it. He is Roma Harshan's son. And now he is repeating the Bhagavatam sitting on the Vyasasan to the crowd of 60,000 people. And imagine in those days they did not have these microphones even. They could just speak out to the 60,000 people. And the 60,000 people had a leader who is heading them, that's Shaunak Rishi. So in this chapter, we have just reached the 8th verse, where the beginning is from again, Vyasa Uvacha, where on hearing Suta Goswami speak, thus Shaunak Muni, who was the elderly, learned leader of all the rishis, engaged in the prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. So in the previous chapter, we have seen how the glories of Bhagavatam were being said. The last verse of the last chapter is, O learned Brahmanas, when Shukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention. Who is saying this? Suta Goswami is saying this. That it's bona fide. I have heard from whom? Shukadeva Goswami. And I am now repeating it. Likewise, Srila Prabhupada was repeated everything for us. He heard from his spiritual master. Under his guidance, he learned the Bhagavatam. And then he gave it as it is to us. So likewise, Suta Goswami is saying, I heard it with rapt attention. So he is declaring how Bhagavatam should be heard. It cannot be a casual scripture. It is not just that you are very casually reading some fiction book. It's not a mythology. It has got deep, deep meaning behind every line of it, every verse, every line, every word of it. It has got a deep meaning in it. So he says, I heard it with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy. So another thing comes up, when you listen with rapt attention, and you need the mercy as well. Without the mercy, one cannot understand. Mercy, whose mercy? Mercy of the Guru Parampara. Guru Parampara starts from Krishna. So the mercy goes from Krishna, comes to the spiritual masters, the line of the Gurus, and then it reaches you. So without mercy, nobody can understand Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam needs, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from the great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him. and as I have realized it. So he says, as I have learned from it and as I have realized it. So it is realization. Spiritual life means your realizations. Every moment when you read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, you will get new realizations. They will always, you will have these realizations. They will come into your mind, they will come into your being. You lead a life with your realizations. At every moment you are learning. Realizations means that you are learning. Learning from your own experience, learning from your own reading. So here Sutta Goswami says, I have learned it from him. I heard his realizations and I have realized it also. That yes, this is very much the right path, the right way. So now the chapter 4 begins with the appearance of Sri Narada. So Narad Muni is gonna appear now. To whom? To Vyasadeva ji. So Vyasadeva ji, it says Vyasa Uvacha. On hearing Sutta Goswami speak thus, Sanak Muni, who was elderly, learned leader. So he is the leader of the 60,000 sages at Naimisharayana. Of all the rishis engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Sutta Goswami. He congratulated Sutta Goswami that he is, the next verse, the second verse is, Sutta Sutta Mahabhagavado Vadno Vadatam Vara. So he says Sutta Maha. So he is Mahabhag, that he is very fortunate. He's got Mahabhag. He says, Sunak said, O Sutta Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite. So that is why they have chosen him as seated at the Vyasasana. And speak and recite. Please relate. Now please tell us that pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great and powerful sage Shukadeva Goswami. So he is glorifying Sutta Goswami. And he is glorifying Sutta Goswami, but never forgetting the parampara. And simultaneously he is glorifying Shukadeva Goswami. Because that was spoken by great powerful Shukadeva Goswami and you are repeating it. So likewise, when we sit on the Vyasas and we actually glorify first Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara, and our own Guru Maharaj in our hearts, and then we begin. Because without their mercy, we cannot utter a word here. And Sutta Goswami is twice addressed herein by Sanak Rishi as Sutta Mahabhag. So he is actually glorifying, twice he says, Sutta Mahabhag. This is why I narrate the previous slokas, just to bring you back to it's been a 1 week maybe, so bring you back to the memory that we are reading what we are reading, it should go into our hearts. So in the next verse he clearly says, in what period and what place was this first began? Now he's questioning. Sanak Rishi is asking these basic questions. When did this scripture, what happened? Why did it come up? And why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvapayana, Vyasa, the great sage, get the inspiration to complete this literature? How did he write this Bhagavatam? Who inspired him to write it? Why did he went ahead and from where did the great sage get the inspiration to compile this scripture? All these are inquisitiveness, the questions. Krishna says our spiritual life starts with questions. That is why the Bhagavad Gita starts with questions, Bhagavatam starts with questions, questioned by the sages. So questions are very much important in our life. Those who are awakened, they question. Those who are sleeping, they don't question. They live in ignorance. They are enjoying life. They don't question why we are born, who is Krishna, what is the purpose of life? These are all questions. So now inquisitiveness, Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, that out of the 4 kinds of people, there is one who are inquisitive. They also come to me. So one should be inquisitive and go to Krishna, the devotees of the Krishna. They should go and ask them, because devotees represent Krishna. So the devotees should be questioned, go and question them. That is why Krishna said, when you submit to your Guru, your Tadviti Pranipatena, you serve him and question him, but not challengingly, submissively. So here, it's all that has been. He says, in what period and place this first began. Then Vyasadev's son, his son, was a great devotee. So Vyasadev's son is Shukadeva Goswami. He was a great devotee and equibalanced monist whose mind was always concentrated in monism, but he was transcendental to mundane activities. But he awakened. He was a monist, but then he became a pure devotee of the Lord. So he says here, while Sri Vyasadeva, because there we know this pastime very well, when Shukadeva Goswami was born, he did not wait for a second. Earlier he was not taking birth, but then he was requested to appear now. He stayed in his mother's womb for years and years. It's 12 years he was there in his mother's womb. But then he was requested and he said, I will come out only if Krishna, you promise me Maya will not touch me. And that promise was kept and he took birth. He appeared. And he did not even wait for a second even in his home, and he just walked out. And Vyasadeva is running after his son. Shukadeva Goswami is all without clothes. He is totally engrossed. He doesn't want to go into Maya at all. He doesn't want to see Maya. He doesn't want. He's totally engrossed in Krishna, absorbed in Krishna. And he walks away. So while Sri Vyasadeva was following his son, beautiful young damsels were bathing in a pond. And when they were bathing, they covered their bodies with cloth when they saw Vyasadeva. But when they saw his son, they never bothered to even cover themselves. Because he was not interested in them. He was just walking away. And their bodies with cloth, although Sri Vyasadeva himself was not naked, but they had not done so when his son had passed. The sage inquired about this, and the young ladies replied. Vyasadevji wanted to know why they were covering themselves. He was elderly, he was like their father. And the ladies replied that his son was so purified, and when looking at them made no distinction between male and female. Because Shukadeva Goswami never for him male and female did not matter at all. He was totally transcendental. When you are transcendental, you are above, Krishna says you are above all dualities. You are above these Sukh and Dukh, you are above night and day, you are above Man and Apaman. You Hani Labh, he says you are above all these when you are transcendental. And the young ladies replied that his son was purified and when looking at them made no distinction between male and female, but the sage made the distinction. They could read that in his eyes that he was making a distinction between a female body and a male body. How was Srila Shukadeva, the son of Vyasa, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Hastinapur? So Hastinapur is Delhi. When Shukadeva Goswami entered the city of Hastinapur, how was he recognized by the people there? After wandering in the provinces of Kuru and the Jangla, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded. Because he was just walking around. He just walked away. And how did the people welcome him? How did they know how he is? He looked to be a madman. He looked to be a dumb and retarded. How did it so happen that King Parikshit met him? Now the next question is bombarded that how did Parikshit Maharaj met him? He is an emperor. Met this great sage, making it possible for this great transcendental essence of Vedas, that is Bhagavatam, to be sung to him. So how did they both meet? What happened? Where did they meet? How did Parikshit Maharaj, a king, an emperor, he got into his touch and he received that transcendental message, the essence of the transcendental message, that is the essence of Bhagavatam, he received it. The Vedas is the essence. The essence of Vedas is Bhagavatam. So when we read the 18,000 of verses of Bhagavatam, we need not read the Vedas that have millions of shlokas. We don't need to read that. Prabhupada said those who are reading Bhagavatam, those who are chanting the holy name, they've already done everything in their past lives. They have done these auspicious activities. They have gone through all the sacrifices. They've gone through all the scriptures like Vedas even. Now today's shloka. He, Shukadeva Goswami, was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked, and he did this just to sanctify the residence. So Shukadeva Goswami was so detached that he stayed for just at someone's home for, say, it is less than half an hour. He did not stay at one place for more than half an hour, just the time to milk the cow. That's the time. For just that time, for that duration, he stayed there. Because, so he may not get attached to anything. And he did this just to sanctify the residents. He purified those whom he met. Prabhupada says in the purport, Shukadeva Goswami met Emperor Parikshit and explained the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. He was not accustomed to stay at any householder's residence for more than half an hour at the time of milking the cow. And he would just take alms from the fortunate householders. So Prabhupada mentions, when he took alms, he took the bhiksha, when he took the charity, from whom did he take the charity? They were very fortunate from whom he took the charity. So when a purified sage, a very purified devotee comes to our home, so we are very fortunate. We should actually think that way, and it is exactly the truth. Yes, we are fortunate. The scriptures say that. If some purified devotee whom we get in touch and he is there at our house, at our residence, so we should be very happy, because that is the sanctifying of the residence, sanctifying the homes. Even when a devotee comes to your home, it says when the Krishna Katha happens, because a devotee does not do anything else other than Krishna Katha. So when the Krishna Katha happens at your home, it is said Krishna enters your residence. He does come. When two Vaishnavas meet, even when two Vaishnavas bow down to each other, they are not bowing to one another. It's Krishna in the middle. Krishna comes and stands in the middle immediately. He's there because Vaishnavas carry Krishna in their hearts. And Krishna immediately reciprocates. When the Vaishnava Pranam happens, Krishna stands there in the middle. He never leaves them. So here Prabhupada makes it clear that householder is very fortunate who invites the sages to their home. That is purifying your residence. You are purifying your hearts. You are purifying your homes. You are getting the mercy of the Supreme Power. So when we get the mercy of the Supreme Lord, our house, our family life, our day-to-day, whatever we are doing, that gets purified. Our all activities get purified. So Krishna is very, very merciful because he manifests in the form of the pure devotees, because he lives in their heart. He says clearly, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, the devotees live in my heart and I live in devotees' hearts. So the purified devotees, when they are welcomed to our home, we get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. I was the other day telling a story in Canberra. There is a beautiful story from it's the story where it is said once in the Granth Sahib it comes actually. There is a Saindana, it's a story of a barber who would go to the king's palace to massage him every night. Every night he would go to king's palace to massage him. And he had taken initiation from his guru. So he asked his guru that when will I get the fruit of my initiation? When will I know that my initiation is, I'm blessed with my initiation? So his guru said, the day when the Vaishnavas come to your home and do the kirtan, you will be blessed. You will get the fruit of your initiation. And his duty was to go and massage the king every night. So one day he was coming out of his home, locking the gates and going to the palace. And he could see some Vaishnavas doing Harinam coming towards his home. Now he was thinking what to do, whether to go for his job. If he doesn't go, the king might kill him. Because king had always, he slept with his massage. And never ever in his life he had taken it off. He could not afford to take off. Now he was thinking what to do, whether to listen to what his spiritual master had said, that the Vaishnava, you will get the fruit of your initiation when you will welcome the Vaishnavas in your home. And he could not just turn his back to the Vaishnavas now. So he was very much thinking what to do. The duality has come before him now. Now he said in his mind, it's okay, whatever the king may do with me, I'll accept it. but I will not let my initiation go in vain. I will welcome the Vaishnavas. He welcomed the Vaishnavas to his home. They did the Harinam throughout the night. They all sang the Harinam, they sang the glories of Krishna. Blissful moment was this, and they all enjoyed it, they loved it. And now the next day came up and they went away. They said bye to him and they were gone. The Vaishnavas went away, their way, and he was there. He was expecting someone from the palace would come inquiring about him now. He was very much disturbed. What will happen now? But nobody came up the whole day. So he was very worried. Then in the evening again he dressed up to go to the king's palace. And he reached the king's palace. He was very scared, he was trembling. He thought the king might be very annoyed and he's going to kill him or put him in the prison now. When he reached the king's bed, he was lying down on the bed, and when he reached there, the king was in a different mood. He was very happy. And he looked at Sandhanai and he said, "The massage you did yesterday, never in your life you had given such a massage to me. And that was the most blissful massage of my life. I'm gonna reward you for this." And he gave him a lot of gold and silver, and a lot of money was showered on him. And Sandhanai understood who came instead of him. That was the Supreme Lord himself came as Sandhanai to massage the king, because he was chanting the holy name there and Krishna was serving his devotee here. And that is glorified in the Granth Sahib. That how Sandhanai got the darshan of Krishna. Krishna appeared and blessed him. That you are a true devotee of the Lord. So that is how it is glorified every day, everywhere, and that the Sandhanai was the one who really gave up he was risked his life for Krishna. So this is how our initiation is so important for us. Initiation is actually where Guru introduces you to the Supreme Lord. And here, Shukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami, they are in the parampara coming. Then we have Vyasadeva ji, whose Guru will appear and will actually help him out with all whatever is clouding his mind. Vyasadeva ji is gonna get the directions from Narada ji. He is dissatisfied. He is not understanding why he is not happy. Why he is not happy with writing all the Vedas, all the Upanishads, all the Puranas. And then Narada ji will explain to him, because you haven't touched the bhakti part, you haven't glorified Krishna, the devotional life. The moment you will do that, you will be fully satisfied. And that is how the Bhagavatam came up. Bhagavatam is nothing but all the way to go to Krishna's heart, enter Krishna's heart through devotional service. That is how we will be blessed if we go deep into the scripture of Bhagavatam. So here it says, therefore Shukadeva Goswami is an ideal preacher established in the transcendental position. So Shukadeva Goswami is an ideal preacher established where? In the transcendental position. Because he did not let Maya touch him. He had full blessings of Krishna. And from his activities, those who are in the renounced order of life and dedicated to the mission of preaching the message of Godhead should learn that they have no business with householders, save and except to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. So those who are purified devotees of the Lord, Prabhupada is saying especially here, those who are preaching the mission, they are preaching the message of the Supreme Lord, and it's their mission. So that is their mission in life only. So that is how they should have no business with the householders. Householder life is actually a bit life of sense gratification. So the householder life is where people easily go into sense gratification. They think it's a license to sense gratification. But householder life is not a license to sense gratification. One should make their life, they should not become Grahamedis, they should become Grihastas. So Grahamedis are the one who actually they are engrossed in their own material world. They are Grahamedis. But Grihastas are the one, those who have, their mission in life is, the wife that is a Grihast is called Ashram. So here we have seen the word Ashramam has come. Ashram means a place where you make the shram. Shram is the hard work, labor you put in. So shram is ashram. So grasta ashram, it is said. So when two people meet, that is husband and wife, make the grihasthas. So grihasthas in the ashram, that is they take hard work, they endeavor, they go into hard work to make their home a place of pilgrimage. They put all their efforts, they make it ashram. So they put shram to make it a place where the glories of Krishna are sung. They make their house Vrindavan. They make their house pilgrimage. That hard labor they have to put in. They have to bring out their family into it. The husband and wife join together to preach to their children, make their children also capable to be a part of this ashram. In pure sense, they make their house not a house of walls and bricks, but a home where Krishna is residing. Because we are not the real proprietors of this house. Whether we live in India, we live in Canada, we live in Australia. The houses where we are living today, we are living. Tomorrow our children will be there. They are, again after them, another set of people will come. And till your children, you might be remembered. But after that, nobody will remember us even. They will not. How many of us know our great-grandfathers? We even don't know their names even. What to say of their faces. We don't know their names even. Nobody bothered enough even to ask their grandfather, what was the name of your father? Nobody has ever asked it. I know myself. I had not seen my grandfather. He passed away before I was born. I just know his name. I never asked my father, who was your grandfather? So nobody knows it. When we will be gone, nobody is going to know it after one generation. Who are we? And we think, oh, without me, nothing happens in this world, you know. Me, my children, my family, my wife, my husband, all will be gone. We all will be gone. And the coming generations won't remember us. They won't know us, who we are. Only one person will be known. That's Krishna. Krishna is the real proprietor. He will remain here. We all know Krishna. We don't know our grandparents and their parents, but we know Krishna. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Guru and Krishna will be there. Guru will be there because Guru is the manifested form of Swam, that is Krishna. He himself appears. He manifests himself in the Guru. Guru is the representative. But a bona fide Guru. Not anybody who says I am Guru. Who puts the Guru prefix or suffix before his name or after his name. He's not Guru. Pani piyo chhanakar, Guru karo janakar. We drink water, we look at it, it's crystal clear, then only we drink it. So, Pani piyo chhanakar, Guru karo janakar. Don't shut your eyes. Open your eyes. Take the association of the purified devotee, the Guru. Go into the shelter and read about him, talk about him, search about him, be with him, to know him, and then become his disciple. Serve him. Most important is serve him. Whole in our life we think of taking up a guru. It's the wrong notion in our heads. We have to become disciples. That is, Arjuna said, Shishyaste mam shadi mam tvam prapannam. I become your disciple. He did not say, Krishna, you are my guru from today. He said, I will become your disciple now. Now you guide me. So that is how we should be. We should be submissive. We submit to the Guru. We serve to the Guru. We serve him and then we say, I am your disciple. I will remain, that's my vow. I will remain in discipline. You put me into discipline now. Whatever you say, that is following the instructions of the spiritual master. Because you want to be disciplined. Guru is the purified soul. He is representing Krishna. But we, all the, whatever kami hai, wo hum mein hai. Whatever faults, it's all in us. It's not there. It's in us. So we need to be rectified. So the Guru actually, we accept that I will be in discipline now. So that is what Arjuna exhibited. Shishyaste mam shadi mam tvam prapannam. Krishna did not speak a word in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He doesn't speak anything. He just listens to what all Arjuna is saying. And he says, you are saying all nonsense. Arjuna is talking big, big things, like sometimes we talk about. And he wants to prove Krishna wrong. That why are you making me fight? Why do you want me to fight with my own kinsmen? They are my relatives. You want me to fight them, my Guru? He's the martial art guru for him. And Bhishma Pitama. The Arjun says, you are fighting the righteous battle. It's a righteous, it is the dharma. You are carrying on the dharma. Dharma is the actually upholding the words of Krishna. That is dharma. Dharma is not Hindu, Sikh, Muslim aside. Sometimes some people they say, oh, I was a Sikh and now I am a Hindu. It's not that. It's never, Prabhupada never said that. He said, if you are a Sikh, you will become a better Sikh. If you are a Muslim, you will become a better Muslim. If you follow Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is not taking one thing and picking another thing. It's the basis, Sanatan Dharma, upholding the Sanatan Dharma. So that is why just now when we were coming, we were in the cab and the guy was from Muslim. He's a Muslim from Pakistan. So we were talking all the way and I gave my card to him. And he says, you're Radhika Krpa. I said, yeah. And I told him that I've been to Pakistan and it's like that there, and he agreed. He said, please pray for our politicians. You pray every day, please pray for our politicians also, so that in Pakistan, people are living under poverty line. So our politicians don't grab so much of money of the people and let people also be, they also progress. So I said, sure, why not? So this is how it is. This is what Prabhupada has taught. You be nice to everybody. You bring everybody into Krishna's fold. And then I said, he couldn't understand this thing that what I'm following. So I said, you have heard Hare Rama, Hare Krishna? And he said, yeah, that song was very popular. Then I said, it's not all about the song. It is about the spiritual organization I'm talking. And he said, yes. So when we got down, he said, Hare Krishna. And he said, Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada said, even if one person says Hare Krishna, so you are bringing him to Krishna. I was once I was in London, I was in Bradford. So Bradford is actually, my father is from Lahore, he was before partition. He was born and brought up in Lahore, and in his school days, they had to move to India. So when partition came up. So he left Lahore with a very heavy heart. He had all his friends in Lahore, and they were all Muslims. So one of his friends' elder brother, quite elderly, he had moved to Bradford. So I was with my Prabhu, we went to Bradford too. We were in London, we went to see him. And my book, Vaishnav Teachings in Sikhism, is in 5 languages. It's in Sindhi and Urdu also in Pakistan. It is distributed in Sindhi, Urdu in Pakistan. So I had a copy of, devotees had sent me, and I was in Pakistan, I was given few copies of Sindhi and Urdu as well. And Guru Maharaj had signed it for me, an Urdu copy. And I took that copy with me along to Bradford when I went. So he's no more. The Farooqi uncle we used to call him. So he's passed away at the age of late 90s, he passed away. He was a learned scholar. He had a library in his home, a very rich person, had big warehouses in London, in Bradford. And he was scholarly kind, basically. He had a big library, and he told me that he had read the Gita. He had a Gita in his home, and he was never a fanatic. And he said, I have Gita at home, I have read the Quran, I have read the Bible, I have read the Granth Sahib, I know. And when I handed him my book, I said, Uncle, I've written this book. He just went like this in my book. It is just 100 pages, and he could just understand the gist of it immediately. And he tells me in Punjabi, like I will speak in Punjabi first, and he said, Teri book de naal te samajh aanda hai ki Vishnu de bina gati nahi hoegi. Vishnu de bina we will not go out. So I said, yes. He declared it himself, he read it, and he said, without going to Vishnu, one will not go out of the cycle of birth and death. He said, your book says this. I said, yes, that's right. And then he said himself, I also don't like to eat non-veg. I tell my daughter-in-law, just give me the vegetable part. And I don't know why he was saying, maybe he was just pleasing me or anything like that. But I said, I knew that he could understand the meaning. So that is how it is. When I didn't know when I wrote this book, Guru Maharaj wanted me to write this book, so he wanted it that I should go ahead and write it. So other day I told that how I wrote this book, but then I knew then I could understand why he wanted it. Because when you talk to someone, you cannot give the philosophy, you can't lecture him all the time. If I meet anybody like this, I can't lecture them. But if I hand over the book to them, they will read it sometime and they will understand. And now maybe that book is lying in his library at his home now. Maybe in future someone from his family might read it, might change. So our job is this, that we just go ahead and offer what and do what our spiritual master says. So here Narad Muni is gonna tell Vyasadevji. And then he's going to compile this Bhagavatam. Why this Bhagavatam came up, the question is in the 7th shloka. Why this happened? And now in the future when we proceed, we will come to know why this happened. And who gave the guidance? And that was Naradji, the spiritual master. So here it clearly mentions here that a Grahemedi and a difference between Grihastha. So Prabhupada makes it clear that where the Grihasthas live, they welcome sages. A Grahemedi will never welcome sages. A Grihastha who lives in Grihastha ashram truly would welcome sages. I remember when I was a kid in our home, my father, my grandmother and my father would welcome so many sages at home. And as I've read Prabhupada Lilamrit, Prabhupada says he never liked, he thought nobody is true, like they all have false behavior, they're fake and all. And we also as kids would say that. I would tell my father, why do you bow down before these sant and sages you welcome them at home? And he would say, just be quiet. He would tell me, he says, don't say anything. He would hand over some money into my hand and would say, just go and bow down before them. Just place this little amount and bow down. That's all you have to do. Don't ask anything, don't say anything. And I just agreed with him, I did. As he said, I did that. And maybe that the blessing, the mercy that is given by the sages, they bless you and maybe someday you are spiritualized. So that is how the Grihastha ashram is. That is why I wonder sometimes my father was of that kind. He would welcome them, he would bring them home. And he actually taught me this. And when I met Guru Maharaj, I knew that if he's a saint, what etiquettes we should follow then. So that is we teach our children by this. The coming generations are taught by you. When you have in your mind, if you have such a thing that when pure devotees of the Lord come, we welcome them home, the kids learn it. Kids observe, they actually observe and absorb. Two things kids do. They first observe and then they absorb. Sometimes parents say, I want my children to follow Krishna consciousness. I want them to chant. First you follow it nicely and then they observe it and they'll absorb it. So that is how my children may not be chanting 16 rounds fully. I acknowledge that. But they know, they have been in the association of devotees, they have been in association of Guru Maharaj. So they knew how to respect Guru Maharaj, they knew how to respect the devotees. Wherever in the world they go, if they see some devotee, they know what etiquettes they have to follow. So that is very important, that they have absorbed that. And when a situation of crisis comes, they will know where to go. They have the direction with them. So that is how the faith works, that is how a Grihastha ashram works. So we have not to be Grahemedis, we have to be Grihasthas. So it says, Prabhupada says, such asking for alms from the householder should be for the purpose of sanctifying his home. So if the charity is given by the Grihasthas, so this charity is for what? For actually their house, their money will be sanctified, because this money, whatever the alms, the charity they give, this money will go where? In the preaching, in the mission. This will go in that mission that is spreading the message of the Supreme Lord. So that sanctifies even the Lakshmi, that sanctifies your money, that sanctifies your house. So you are purified. Like this is as Sutta Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami says, it is the realization, it's all realization. So whenever I read this, like I just narrated with you, my own family, how I was brought up. So I go back and I think of this, that yes, that all has been, that security has come from there. Even when my mother was expecting me, she made a pilgrimage to the south of India. There is a Gurudwara, and at that time she told me there was all Kacha Rasta, there was no roads and nothing. She had to go in a bullock cart. but she planned it that she would go. So she went with my father and the family. They went to do the pilgrimage. And when she was carrying me, so she showed me a picture that how they were going, and she had me in her womb at that time. And she went to the Gurdwara in the south in Bidar. That's the Guru Gobind Singh Ji's, the 10th Sikh Guru, his place, is his seat, where he gave up his body. He stayed there and gave up his body. They all made a pilgrimage there then. So this is how maybe the Gyan Sukriti has come. I asked Guru Maharaj that when I lost my father, why did I become a devotee? I could have gone, I might have gone to the hotels and clubs to actually be away from my grief, because I was grieving. I had lost my father, and I was totally I was in a pensive mode. And I was searching for answers for my questions. And I could have easily, because everybody was telling me, you are going too deep into the spiritual life. You don't have to answer. It's natural, you know. I was asking everybody where my father has gone now. Just tell me what has happened to him. Then nobody had the answer. Like Prabhupada says, you go to universities, you ask them in the big universities, you tell them, do you get any knowledge about soul? And they say no. About death? No. They just have the medical answer for you. What is death? When all your functions stop happening, then all functions they stop, that is dead. You are dead. But here, when the Supreme Lord leaves you and the soul leaves you, Super Soul leaves you and the Supreme Lord leaves you, then you are dead. So just don't make noise. There's one child and he's making noise. So it is like that we have to be very enthusiastic about our spiritual life, listening to our spiritual master, serving our spiritual master, and getting all the answers for our questions, because they are there. These scriptures, they tell us what kind of life we should lead. And these are the answers. So as I said, and then I asked Guru Maharaj, the Guru Maharaj replied to me. He said, I said I could have gone to maybe it could be that my detachment, my vairagya could have been momentary. Because everybody gets a vairagya. When you go to a crematorium, and then you get the vairagya there. But when just as you come out of the crematorium, it's all gone. You're back into your material life. But with me, it was not happening. I wanted the answers, and I was craving very hard for them. I was trying very hard to get the answers. I was going into the scriptures, going to so many places all the time. So then I asked Guru Maharaj that how come I came to Krishna consciousness? And then Guru Maharaj replied, he said, because you must have committed some piety in your previous births, and that brought you here. That piety, those deeds, little bit of bhakti you must have done, and that sukriti brought you to Krishna consciousness. So he said, you are very fortunate, you are among the fortunate souls. So that satisfied me. His answer was what satisfied me. Yes, it could be. Then I connected everything that my mother took a pilgrimage. She went there. Then my father had this. My mother would get up at 3:30 in the morning every day without fail. And she was pure vegetarian throughout her life. And then my father, about the saints and the sages, he would say such things to us. Though he gave us the best of the material life. He gave us the best of the material life to me. He never said no to me in my whole life. He never said no to me for whatever I had asked from him. He was, even when my result for 10th class came, and he had said, at that time 70% was something very big, you know. I'm talking about 1979. So I said, if I get the first division, I get 70%, what would you give me? He said, whatever you would ask, whatever you want. So here, this Saturday, I get a result, 70%. And he said, what do you want? I said, a trip to Europe. And next Sunday, we were flying to Europe. We went to London, and from there, whichever place I pointed out on the map, he took me. I said Switzerland, I said Venice, I said Paris. He took me everywhere. So he never said no to me. But he gave me, and because I'm saying this, because the best of the material life he gave me. But he guided me in the spiritual world as well, in his own way, with his piety. So that's how he pampered me is that, and when I met Guru Maharaj, it was just after meeting him, in the 2-3 years after meeting him, he gives me the blessings. He says, I want you to travel the world and preach. And I remembered my father, who would listen to me and take me to Europe and everywhere before, like in the material life. And now my Guru Maharaj says the same thing. I want you to travel the world, and now the purpose is different. It's not sightseeing, it's giving the message of Krishna. So I thought how Krishna has arranged all these, like my material father, my spiritual father, they all actually are giving me the same, they are pampering me, they are giving me the same love and affection. And Guru Maharaj gave me the love and affection which my even material father would not have given me. So here Prabhupada says, such asking for alms from the household should be for the purpose of sanctifying his home. One who is in the renounced order of life should not be allured by the glamour of households, worldly possessions. So one should not get impressed. If Prabhupada is restricting here the devotees even, those who go to householder's life and they get impressed by the materialistic householder life. They get impressed by they are so rich, they have such beautiful homes. One should not get, those who are in renounced order, those who are in renunciation, they should not get carried away by this. For one who is in these worldly possessions are not important. That is why this is mentioned here. It's not that if somebody has a beautiful home and Prabhupada is saying it's not good, but it is that the worldly possessions are of no use for renounced order of life. If you are renouncing, you are getting detached. These things are not for those who want to be devotees. Because these things will remain here. We will be leaving them behind. They will not go with us. The devotees know that. So that's why they do not do the hard labor to get them. They do the hard labor to get the spiritual, to go into the spiritual world. So if you are really, we should do 9 to 5 jobs, get whatever we get, be happy in that, and the rest of the time is for Krishna. That rest of the time is for preaching. The rest of the time is for singing the glories of Krishna, making your home Vrindavan. For one who is in the renounced order of life, this is much more dangerous than drinking poison and committing suicide. So this is how Shukadeva Goswami was. He did not want even to stay for more than half an hour in a devotee's home. That was how, in a householder's home. So likewise he says, he was such a pure, elevated soul. And those who are in renounced order, this is much more dangerous than drinking poison even. So he says this is dangerous than drinking poison even for a renounced order. Those who are following the renounced order, if they are into all these materialistic possessions, this is more dangerous. This is very dangerous. And it is like committing suicide. So he's giving instructions to those who are brahmacharis, those who are sannyasis, vanprasthas, they are in the renounced order. And for the grahastha ashram, it should be not grahemedi, but a grahastha ashram. So that is important for us. So in the coming shlokas, you will read all the more about how Vyasadeva ji will be enlightened by his guru and what happens next. Hare Krishna. So anybody who has any question, they can ask. No question? Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, you mentioned that Sutta Goswami was hearing the Bhagavatam with the rapt attention. But in Kali Yuga, the attention span is very big, memory span is very big. And so how to develop that attention so that
Yes.
perfect
The rapt attention means when you are totally absorbing the katha in your mind. So mind has to be in control. That is why the Bhagavad Gita is the principle. So when we go into Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about mind. He says how to control your mind with detachment and knowledge, vairagya and gyan. So he says with gyan and vairagya, you will be able to control your mind. So mind is actually, that does not let us pay attention. It distracts us. So in Kali Yuga, even a small noise distracts us. We cannot pay attention. So how it is? If we are detached to the worldly possessions, then this mind will be under our control. Then you tell the mind to just shut up and sit here. Don't go here and there. When then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, every day morning when you get up, beat your mind with your chappal. And now mind you cannot see, it's subtle. How will you beat it? So that is, you have to be very strict with your mind. I will not let you do what you want to do. You do what I want to do. So this is the soul. Because soul is there, then only you are speaking. Then only you are conscious. If my soul leaves me, I cannot speak. I'll just fall down. There is no consciousness now. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, above mind is intelligence. And above intelligence is soul. So soul is the most important. Soul is important. Soul has to be given its food. आपने शरीर को तो रोज खाना खिलाया है, दिन में 3 बार 4 बार खिलाया है, बार बार खिलाते हैं. खाली बैठे होते हैं तो और कुछ नहीं होता. We just keep on eating. Go in the fridge, look for something. Go in the kitchen, look for something, eat it. We are feeding our body every day, thrice or twice or 10 times. But what about the soul that is inside? उसको भी खाना चाहिए. उसको तो कभी खिलाया ही नहीं. If you have a beautiful bird in your home, a tota hai, and you keep it in a beautiful cage, you polish the cage every day and don't feed the tota, don't feed the parrot, what will happen? उस cage का क्या फायदा होगा? Parrot तो मर गया अंदर, उसको खिलाया ही नहीं. तो soul doesn't die, but soul needs food. You can die spiritual death. Spiritual death can happen. The material death is the body dies. The gross body dies, that's a death in the material world. But the soul also dies of those who don't feed the soul. That is why the Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Atmik maut nahi honi chahiye. Atma should not die. So Atma dies when you don't feed the Atma. So Atma ka bhojan kya hai? Hari Naam. That is the food for the soul. So feed your soul with Harinam. The more you feed the soul with Harinam, this knowledge will come to you and it will stay in your mind. It will stay in your heart. Attention will be there then. Then you won't feel bored in the class. You don't feel sleepy in the class. You are always eager to know more and more. That is the interest will come. Rapt attention उसी को आता है जिसका interest होता है. If you don't have interest and you've been just obliging someone and you are here, so you have no interest. Then no interest, no attention. If your interest is there, attention will be there. You see, when I joined spiritual life with Guru Maharaj, I would follow, me and my husband would follow him if he's giving 4 lectures in a day, we would be there at all the 4 lectures. And 4 lectures में ये नहीं कि topic अलग होगा. He would be giving the same topic to 4 different crowds. Same topic it would be there. So once though I remember in the early days, we heard the Ajamal ki katha in 4 places from him and 4 times we heard it from him. So it was, I knew what the next word is gonna say. But then also I wanted to listen. I wanted to listen. I wanted to be there because my interest was into listening to my spiritual master. It was not just giving rasa to my ears, you know. People want to say, I don't want to go. Guru Maharaj is going to repeat the same katha. What to do? Why to go there? I said, how unfortunate you are. That you think you're just going for the katha? You're going to actually hear from your spiritual master. Hearing anything from your spiritual master is your fortune. You are fortunate. That is Suta Suta Bhaga. So that is how Suta Suta is Bhagyavan. So I would go to Guru Maharaj's room, sit there, and I remember if some devotee would come and he would say, you can talk to Mataji and Prabhuji and you can free them. Guru Maharaj said, let them sit. He knew it because I had nothing to question him and nothing. I just wanted to hear what he's saying. What he's saying to others even, I just want to hear that. I wanted to hear that nectar, whatever he says. I just wanted to be in his company, in his association. So he would say, he would let me sit there, and I would be there. So it is just I wanted to be near him, listen to him, serve him, that's all. So that is how you become fortunate. That is how it is. The attention will be there if interest is there. If interest is to serve the spiritual master, serve Krishna by just listening to the kathas, so you are actually blessed, you are in attention then. So that is why it is said that out of millions and millions, out of 60,000 sages are there we know, and there is one Suta Goswami. Out of millions, there is one. So why not all of them? Why not Sonak Rishi, who is actually there? He's not the leader. He's the leader, but he's not sitting on the Vyasasana. Suta Goswami has been brought to sit on the Vyasasana because he has heard it with rapt attention. So that is how the spiritual life is. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. It was very, very wonderful and enlightening class. So I just had we see in Sikhism we come across various devotees from that path and people from that religious group where charity is being very much there with us, like very charitable temples or various good causes, good distribution of things like that. On the same note, how can we also give us some knowledge on how we can downplay them to say that Vishnu or Krishna, this aspect is present in their own health as well? How do we connect them?
Prabhu, we have to be, when we go out to preach, we should have not half-baked cake with us. So half-baked cake would not help us. So we should know what to say, when to say, whom to say. So we should not just barge in and say anything because they also don't know the Granth themselves fully. So if you also don't know and they don't know, the two mismatched people will be there and they'll fall into arguments. So it is better we read and we speak to open-minded Sikhs. Those are open-minded. In fact, my books are finished. If my books have been with me, I would have, you would have bought that and read that. And then with evidence, you could have spoken to them. And we should not go to fanatics, not to fanatic people. Even in Hinduism, we don't go to fanatics. Those who are not following Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada. If they accept the Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita, we speak our hearts to them, the glories of Krishna. If they don't accept Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, we don't talk with them. Ashradhalu ko Krishna naam ki mahima ko updesh nahi dete hum, to unfaithful ones. So likewise there also we have to be very careful. So when we tell them, yes, everything is there in the scripture, but if you know, then only you can tell them, yes, this is right. But then we should be very, very careful when we talk to them. That's important. Very well. So we end the session now. Any question from Mataji's? Yes.
Mataji, just two questions. It's okay. Thanks for a very nice class. With the renounced idea of life and not getting possessive about any material things, at times we keep our mind in a very controlled way, not to get really possessive of anything. But we may not be that on a elevated stage and lose that consciousness. How to keep the mind? Yes, you have already mentioned that you need to tell it just it's not the time and not the right place of consciousness. So, but when we talk to a child of 8-year-old and they talk about so much, they get inspired by YouTube and all the other things. How to tell them? Like, I can tell to my mind, but how to tell the child not to get carried away by all this?
Child will learn from their parents. They learn by example. Children never learn it. You just keep on telling them theoretically, they will not learn it. They will see their parents. If you are ideal, so they will follow you. You have to first work very hard to become an ideal for them. So you see, they have sports stars, they have their ideals, rock stars. So they have their ideals in their mind. Now, you want to replace them with Krishna. So you have to first follow Krishna yourself fully. And then you will be speaking, when you get absorbed in Krishna, you will be talking about Krishna all day. You will talk about the Leelas, pastimes of Krishna, tell them stories, talk to them. They will see their mother doing the Harinam, they will see their mother chanting, they will see their mother doing the puja, and they will actually inquire them. Then their inquisitiveness will actually be there. And when they inquire, the interest will come and then they will follow you. So we think, oh, I am just doing it, now I have to force that on my child. First, bring the child, like you have come to the association of devotees, bring your child to the association of devotees, devotee children. So when they come to the association of devotee children, then they would change. They will be given little services, they will understand, they will have friends, those who are already a bit advanced than to them. So likewise, you have your association, you give your child also the same association of his age group, from where he can learn, pick up things. Oh, this is a devotee child. That's important. So this is very important, that like we are in the devotee association, we give the similar to our children as well. And at home, they should get the experience of my parents are my ideals. They are changing, like they are following this. And then he's learning with his friends and he will follow the same. He will say, the other children will say, oh, my father also, my parents also do the same. And your child will pick it up from there. So like, if you say something, he might not listen. But when he observes in the other place, in the other's home also this is happening, then he would himself say, yes, why cannot I do it here? We have like online, I run a school as well, where there are 100 children there. So we give the responsibility to children to cook, flameless cooking we teach them. I take all on Zoom. So I have a faculty that helps me. They are trained, they organize everything. So they tell children, make your altars, bring your altars on the screen, show to us, and then do flameless cooking. They do some flameless cooking, they teach us just to make a sandwich. So all the children, they get the ingredients with the help of the parents and they make sandwiches. And then they say, now put a tulsi on it, take a bell and bring it to the altar, your altar, children's altar. So they bring it before their own little Krishna or whatever they have. They'll place, and then they say, okay, now you chant with us and ring the bell. So they'll start ringing their offering to Krishna. So you make them learn this. Now at home they'll say, oh mama, I want to cook this, or you cook this and give it to me, I want to take it to my Krishna. I want to feed it. So likewise it is. I used to tell my granddaughter, let's feed Krishna. So she would go and pick up the biscuit or something and put it in Krishna's mouth. She would say, please Krishna, take it. And she got such trained that once my son got hurt on his forehead. And we saw her running to the altar and she said, Krishna, my father is hurt. Can you fix him? She was just 2.5 and she didn't know what the word is. She said, can you fix him, please? So she knew who to go, Now she's in Canada and she tells her school friends, they're all Chinese and the Canadians, and she tells them, if they are scared of something, she keeps a Krishna doll with her. She sleeps with it and she'll go for camping. She will, in the seat belt, next to her seat, she would belt Krishna also. So he may not fall down. And then she goes there. And in the school, she tells her friends, if they are scared of something, she says, go to Krishna. And they will ask, who is Krishna? And then she comes over and she tells her mother, they don't know who Krishna is. So you see, children are very interesting, but they just need the real little guidance. No force would work on them. So don't force them. Give them just guidance. And in love and playful mood, they will learn about Krishna. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahapurana ki jai, God Premanande. Damodar Mas ki jai, Radha Damodar Bhagwan ki jai, Yashoda Damodar Bhagwan ki jai, God Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Oh, no, Prabhuji. It's always. Thank you.